All right, so in my previous video, you saw that I swapped a CPU and motherboard combo and actually a power supply. I took this one out. This one is the 6700K with the Asus Z170 chipset motherboard. And I went ahead and put the cooler, I swapped the coolers. So I put the cheaper cooler, this is just a stock Intel cooler on it. Now this may not and probably won't cool even the 6700K properly under a load, but for installing Windows, perfectly fine. We need to reinstall Windows 10 on here. I did put a cheap NVMe on here. I'm curious if it'll work because I think it came out of like an Optane or something like that, but it does say a 512 gigabyte. So I just want to see if it'll install on that. If not, I do have other NVMe's, but just to get this thing sold, I think I'll sell it just as is. Now, I do want to show one of the demonstrations I want to show today is installing Windows 10 using Rufus. And I used to have Windows 10 on here. It does say Windows 10, but there's Windows 11 on here now. But I'm going to change that up, and I want to show you how easy you can get it so you have an install. This will work for Windows 11 or Windows 10. So let's get over here to the screen, but stay right there. Okay, so we have our Windows. I know my C drive is almost full there. It's crazy. Hopefully we can get through this. All right, so we have this right here, which is our one that we need to format right here. And let's just call this Win10 for right now, NTFS. We're going to format this. And I don't know why this is, well, you know what, I don't even care. So we know it's the D drive is what we need. And let's get out of here. Now, what we need to do is install a program or download a program that's called Rufus. And I'm going to show you here. We're just going to type in Rufus. And usually I use Google. It's a little easier. But right here is the site that we want. Don't worry, these are just pop-ups and advertisements. But you can see right here, this is a beta version. We don't want the beta version. We want this one right here. This is an advertisement. It even says ad right up here. Let's not click on that. Don't click on the download. It's automatically downloading right up here. See that? It already downloaded. So now we can get out of there. We can go to our download folder. And here is the executable file. Now we can just run it. Let me just get rid of these so it's less confusing. We can just run this right from here. This is exactly what we want to do. Yeah, that's fine if it wants to check for updates. Now, this is the device. See right up here where it says device. That's the one that we're going to be putting Windows 10 on. Remember, I renamed it after I formatted it. Now, this is disk or ISO image. That's what we want. But here's the difference. We can either download an ISO image from the web, but you have to go and find it and make sure you have the right one and all that, which is fine. Windows 11 is easy. Windows 10, it's a little more tricky. So we go to download. And when I say tricky, it's because I previously looked for this and I could not find the ISO image, which is fine. I don't care. But we go to download and we click download. Now, what we're going to do is this drop down menu, Windows 10, continue. Just follow the prompts. This is the only version of Windows 10 they have. We're going to continue. We want Windows 10 Home, Pro, or Education Edition. Continue. And we're going to soon get some more prompts. We want English, United States, continue. And just give it a minute. There we go, 64-bit. Or the 64, architecture. Then we go to download. Okay, we're going to save that in our downloads folder. That's fine. And right there, we can see it has started to download. And you can see the percentage. And we're underway as far as getting our Windows 10. In the meantime, while that's downloading, we're going to go ahead and hook up our motherboard for power. And that way we can get this all situated here. I don't have the case to put this in just yet, so we're just going to do it this way for right now. Even though this thing is a Z170 chipset, this rear I/O is still very impressive. You get a lot of connections back here. That's including HDMI, DisplayPort, DVI, VGA, multiple 3.0 ports, and we even get two 10 gigabit ports on this, and one standard 1 gigabit Ethernet jack. I think that's pretty impressive for this one right here. All right, so our download is ready, and since it's downloaded, now we can actually select it. So if we go to the select button right here, now we can grab the Windows 10, open that up. Now we have the Windows 10 thing here. Now we can do a volume, so we can still say this is Windows 10, and NTFS, that's exactly what we want. We want GPT and not MBR, and everything is good. So we can click start, and this is where we can rename this. So we're going to rename this to, actually we don't want to name the local account. I'm going to let whoever is, well, let's rename it. Yeah, because we're just going to call it user. And we're going to create that. These are all things that it's going to do for us when we're installing Windows. Set the regional options to the same value as the user. Don't care. Disable data collection. We want that. And disable BitLocker. So those are the two things we want. We want to skip the privacy questions. It's just what I want to do. And now it is copying all the files, the ISO file, over to the Windows 10 USB drive. And then we can put that in here. And we're going to need a HDMI connection here. And look at that, we're ready to go. So now we can take this, which has got Windows 10 on it. We're going to switch over in my OBS here to screen capture. We have no signal. Oh, we know that. We're going to stick this in any USB port. And we have this. I think we're all set. Oh, I might need a, we'll do this the rank way. I don't usually like doing this, but let's do our front panel connection here, and boom. Yeah, I usually don't like doing it that way, but we should get a signal here to install Windows 10 again. And there's the BIOS already. This thing is fast for a Z170, I'm telling you. This thing is rock solid. I've never, ever had an issue other than RAM once. I had some RAM that I had to take out and replace.
Did I have Windows installed on that? Okay, this is really, really bizarre. So let me, this is so bizarre. I don't know what is going on here. Let me shut it down. I'm gonna remove this stick. I'm wondering if I had a Windows on there, which is just totally bizarre. We're gonna remove this. We're gonna power this thing back up.
If we start getting that spinny wheel, I already had Windows 10 on it. So bizarre. All right, we're gonna reinstall Windows 10 because I don't know what's on here, how old it is. Actually, we'll do a restart. We're gonna enter into the BIOS. Actually, it's probably F12. But let's see if we can find it in the BIOS. We should be able to go to Advanced Settings, Boot, and Trying to see if we have a boot override. Boot override. Okay. We want this SanDisk Extreme Pro. That is going to be our boot override. And we'll get Windows installed on that. Look at that. Error. BIOS legacy boot of UEFI only media. To remove this message, you need to do one of the following. That's actually kind of interesting because I know I had GPT. So, it says, remove this media and push any key. All right, let's see if we're in legacy mode for some reason. Let's go here to run. And, oops, I'm always using the wrong keyboard. Let's run as administrator. I guess that didn't matter. And MS Info 32. And I thought in here it says somewhere either legacy or I might be missing it here. I feel like I'm missing it. No, right here, BIOS mode, UEFI. So UEFI, yeah. So we're not in legacy mode. Maybe there is a possibility that I selected the wrong partition. So see how this says Extreme Pro Partition 1? That's the one we actually want. So let's go into here again. Let's go into boot. Maybe I picked Partition 2 and didn't realize it. So, oh, yes. See, I picked this right down here. We want Partition 1. That is the one that we want. Okay, now we should be booting into that. That was my fault. But see, you take your time, you read stuff, and you figure it out. Anybody can do that. All right, so now we're good. Now we just need to run through the steps of installing Windows 10. It's pretty simple. I know it's older, but I want to get this thing sold if I can. We got English and install now. Even though it had Windows 10 on it, I don't know how old the version was. I don't know why I put it on there, and I don't feel like going through all of the updates. The updates will be a lot slower than just installing the latest from Microsoft themselves. So we're going to say, well, I don't have a product key, which this thing will automatically be supported when we install Windows 10 Pro. And go next. Accept the terms. Custom installation always. And let's see, we want to delete all these partitions. So each one of these, we're just going to select delete. Yep, delete. Oh, can't do that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. Delete this one. And there we go. We're left with one drive. All right, so we go to next, and it's unallocated space. Now what we're doing is we're copying all the files that are on here. It's copying them over to the NVMe that's on here, and that's how that works. All right, so we're at 65%, and what we're gonna do is when it comes to the screen where you can input all the stuff yourself, what region you're from, etc., we can go ahead and remove this, because then all the files from here are copied over to the NVMe, and yeah, and then we can either stop there, because I don't really need to install or complete the process of installation of Windows on here. The next person can do that. but I haven't decided that yet. Okay, so here it is. Here's the part where we can fully take this out without any consequences. And I just want to show you. So this is how it would look if you were to buy a PC brand new, right? It wouldn't have anything in it. So what I'm going to do is simply shut it off. And I just want to show you that without, I just want to jump these pins just to get rid of any power. And if you were to buy a PC that was brand new and you brought it home and you turned it on for the first time, that is exactly what you would see. That's at that point why I take that out, or that you can take it out. Normally I don't stop. I usually install Windows, but we can see we're coming right back up with a blue screen, and not blue screen of death, that is. And it's going to allow us to go through the prompts if we choose to. It's all right. It's just going through another reboot. It probably has to look at the RAM and what CPU it has and all that stuff. I don't know why, but it's perfectly normal. So that little spot was unexpected. I don't know why it came up with that error, but I guess because it did, we're just gonna install Windows so there's no issue. It shouldn't have done that. I don't know why it was acting like my PC had a problem. That's how they shut them down. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's just go through them. Not that you haven't seen me do this before. We want the US. Skip a second keyboard layout. I do not have internet. And this is, there are more to discover than you are connected to the internet. We're going to connect with limited setup. All right, so now we have Windows 10 installed, and it was as easy as that. I don't know why it came up with that error. Maybe somebody can explain why it came up with that error, because that's at a point where you should be able to shut the PC down and ship it out. So I don't know if it was a little too soon or I rebooted too soon. I don't know. But anyway, that's real life. That's what happens. I'm not going to edit that out. That's just part of what happens. But my main point to this video was using Rufus to download Windows 10 or Windows 11. So you don't actually have to go searching for the Windows 10 or 11. It'll download the ISO image for you, put it wherever you want it, and then you saw how we went through that. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me. Go ahead and comment down below. Also subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified for any future videos that I do post. And also give this thing a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, just to help out and support the channel and any kind of stupid algorithms YouTube decides to come up with. And anyway, that's going to do it for me. Till next time, guys. Take care.